BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team, and remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here.
What's going on, Tiger Nation? Y'all know who it is. It's your main man, Ken Clark. Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. Before we get started, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. And we appreciate all those that are tuning in on all the various different podcast outlets. We're back with another great interview today. We're going to go into the offensive line room, bring on another special guest, man. And here he is. We have Mr. Isaiah Villanueva here. Welcome to Tiger Talk, Isaiah. Well, welcome back to Tiger Talk, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, sir. I'm enjoying it out here.
Oh, yeah, man. So last time we had you on Tiger Talk, of course, you was talking to D. Corey C., and we had you in on your official visit. And now, obviously, you've committed. You've enrolled. Now you're in Jackson. You're in school. Let's just start there, man. How's everything going? How have you been acclimating yourself in Jackson, Mississippi, at Jackson State University since you've joined the team?
It's been going really well. The team's been treating me really well. I'm staying downtown here in Jackson. So I would say with that, it's amazing. The people in Jackson are like no other. And it's one of the most loyal fan bases I've met everywhere I go. If you have that block on your chest, they know you, they know who you are, they know who you play for. And it's just everyone's been so welcoming and just really enjoying all the cities, enjoying everything around Jackson, and really just being able to meet everybody has been a huge thing, and really just be comfortable with everybody, all the coaches.
Hey, you speaking to something that I think most are starting to understand when they become a part of Tiger Nation is the loyalty and the love of the fan base, man. I mean, we love our Jackson State Tigers, and you're right. You're right about that. I don't think there's many out there that can really compete with it, even from a social media standpoint. I'm pretty sure you've seen that when offers go out and your visits and your photos, and then you commit, the love is there. So it just warms my heart to always hear our athletes come on and talk about how Jackson embraces us. Jackson is a very, very great city, man, and it's my hometown, and I love that. So great, man, great. I'm glad that you're getting situated. Let's do this. Let's go into the school aspect of it. You join us. You transferred in from North Texas. Let's just start there. So, how many years were you at North Texas, and what year is this for you from a classification standpoint? And how many years of eligibility do you have to play football?
Yes, sir. So I was at the University of North Texas following my class of 22 senior year. So at the University of Texas my freshman and sophomore year, and then so transferring here, I'm technically classified as I'm a sophomore. So I would be I'll be this was finish my end of my redshirt freshman year. So going in, I'll be a redshirt sophomore now.
Nice. So 3 years of eligibility.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so from an educational standpoint, we know that Jackson State is a great institution, offer a lot of great majors and opportunities for a great professional life outside of football. What are you studying right now?
Yes, sir. So, transferring to Jackson, I decided to continue my pursuit of criminal justice. I want to
Mm,
go the law route. That route I've chosen has been something I loved for a long time, and I look to see myself going the CIA or FBI route.
that's outstanding, man. So is that something that you kind of get grab from maybe your hometown? Let's talk about what city are you originally from? Are you originally from Texas, and that's why you was in North Texas, or Talk about some of the origin and what kind of led to you wanting to be in law enforcement.
Yes, sir. So I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I say
Okay.
Houston because I moved around multiple times.
Okay.
Cypress, Texas, Spring, Texas, Katy, and then so I ended up at Katy, Texas, my last 2 years. And so
Okay.
Katy, Texas, I ended up transferring. I ended up winning the state championship, 5A 20 state championship, the biggest goal ever for a Texas high school student. If you ask
Oh
them, is
yeah.
to play there and win it. And so I was able to do that there. And so out of high school, my coach Jason Smith, college recruiter, he hit me up and said, "Man, I really want you to come to North Texas." And being close to home was a big thing for me. To be able to see my family come see me on the college level, especially me being the first one to play at this level in my family, it was a
Nice.
huge aspect. And just to see my family come, my cousins, and to really all admire me and be able to stay in the great state of Texas was a huge goal and something that I enjoyed.
That's outstanding, man. Katy, Texas, man. One of those powerhouse high schools out in the Houston area, man. What is that? Is that North Shore, Katy?
So you got Katy, you got North Shore, and so I
Yeah,
went to Katy Pato. So my
Katy
coach,
Pato.
he was yes, so he was a transcendent of Katy High School. He was the OC when they won all those state championships, and
Nice.
so he was able to get his first head coach job at Pato. And so his second year in, that's when I transferred, and we went all the way. Coach BJ Gott was a tremendous part of my growth as an athlete. He really taught what it means just to be more than an athlete, and I think a lot of players really don't get that. You don't understand, like in the snap of your fingers, your career can be gone. And
Absolutely.
it's a scary topic for most players, but when you have a great leader like that who shows you all your options and shows you what hard work and dedication really can do, and I believe that's what I did. I wasn't heavily recruited out of high school, and he truly told me, "Man, it's in reach. It's in reach for you, Isaiah." And I will always remember the chats we have, the discussions we have. And I remember week one, I was like, Coach, we're gonna win a state championship. They don't. They're gonna find out about us real soon.
Man, that's special, man. I always love to hear, the I guess the days when college football is kind of transitioning into some kind of like a business almost, even before NIL, name, image, and likeness, it still was a very business approach. And high school is kind of that last of I'm gonna say the last of, but just it's a different type of football. You play for the right reasons. You're just really getting acclimated to the game with the potential to get to the next level. So that's good stuff. But to win a 5A state championship, in any Texas town, I lived in Austin 7 years after I left Jackson. So trust me, being over there with the Westlakes and the Lake Travises and the Cedar
Some
Park and,
dominant schools.
yeah, man, and Vista Ridge, right? I mean, the list goes on, man. And seeing Texas high school football is just a different type for those that don't understand the magnitude of it. So being a part of a championship team is special. I've only won one championship, and that was in junior college. But hey, man, it's a feeling that's unlike anything when you dedicate your time, energy, and effort into something, and you get a chance to get to that ultimate goal. My goodness, man, it's a great feeling. So we hope you can bring some of that championship vibe over here to the Tigers, man. We like championships, man. We love championships, and we got to get that SWAC championship and even the Celebration Bowl. So, but before we even get into the football aspect of it, it is something that I did want to jump into because it is part of your upbringing. We got to talk about your father, man. I think it goes by the name. Is it Tito Villanueva, right?
I
Is it
Villanueva, yes, sir.
Ike? Well, apologize about that.
All
Um,
good.
Fighter, man. That's impressive. I'm gonna let you talk about your pops, man, and what he does. I just remember seeing you on social media. I guess you were you holding a belt, or did you
Yeah,
introduce?
so
Yeah, yeah.
so I'll
Talk
give a
about
little background about that. So my father, Ike Villanueva, he's been doing MMA since I was about 2 years old. He's one of the most he's a Houston legend and a Texas legend. He's been in the local scenes for so long, just truly dominating the sport. Um, he after my grandfather passed, he did retire. He retired and he just couldn't do it. And then he really found that spark, and that spark was truly so inspirational to see because you see all these fighters, but when it's your dad and you're seeing him do these things, it's
yeah,
crazy. You're talking about you're raising a young man. You're raising. I have four sisters. You're raising the girls, and so like and having to do that, and then having to go to fight, and you have to cut the weight. It's all amazing scenes. So my dad's been doing that, He's excelled in the Houston scene, and that boosted him to go to the UFC, which is like for most who don't do MMA, that is the NFL of mixed martial arts.
Yes, it is.
To get up there, to get up to that level, you are fighting the best of the best, and it was just so inspirational to see, especially during the time where he had that focus. While we were making the state championship run, he had to train overseas. He was fighting in Abu Dhabi, Fight Island, and truly to see everything he does is truly inspirational. And after that UFC run, I was there for his last fight. Got to meet everybody. Got to meet Dana White, and they're truly a family like no other. And so after his last fight, unfortunately, he blew out his knee, and so that caused a little setback. And when you're up in age, that was a big thing. So
Yeah.
he ended up going. So the new thing after the UFC was bare knuckle fighting. It's on the uprise. It's one of the most talked about trending sports now. It's no gloves. You're getting hit straight in the face, bare knuckle. And so I remember getting that call, and he's like, "Well, they just called me, and they're like, they want me to do bare knuckle." And I said, why? Why would you want to do that to yourself? I'm like,
Yeah.
but all right, I'm gonna rock with you. I'm gonna support it. And so he ended up doing that. And with bare knuckle, he's 3-0. The last fight, thankfully,
Man.
was in the great state of Mississippi. It was my first time. It was my first time because with that, I was like, UFC was cool, but with that, I just couldn't be in person. And so they came into Biloxi, and they're like, his Data 5000, a bunch of other people run that operation. And they're like, hey, we want to sponsor you to talk about the fight, to build up the fight. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And they're like, okay, I get there. And they're like, man, we want you ringside. We want you mic'd up for your dad's fight. And it was truly something to see something like that is no other. I mean, you're talking about two heavyweights just brawling, just trying to take their
Woo.
head off and fight. And I'm like, you see it there. You're so close to ringside. You can see the blood dripping on the mat. I'm like, I don't know why he does, but props to you. And so after that fourth round, he was able to get the knockout and be the new BYB heavyweight champion. And so it's really truly something inspirational to see.
Hey man, that's amazing, man. I got to say this, and I haven't met your dad. Shout out to Mr. Ike. Uh, that's a tough joker right there, man. I'm gonna say it. I think that's we say about as PG as we can. Bare knuckle fighting, man, is brutal. It makes you think about like Kimbo Slice. I don't know. Did Kimbo have his? I don't remember. Was it if it's if
So
his fist?
Kimbo, yeah. So Kimbo was like that was that's what bare knuckle became of. Kimbo
Yeah,
Slice made it the backyard brawl, and that's what I think
raw.
that's what got my dad motivated.
Woo.
I remember seeing the videos of my dad in high school fighting in the backyard, bare knuckle, and
Man, let me
so
ask you this, man. You got a little bit of Ike in you, man. You got hands. Come on now. You talk to us. You got
So I was a two-time All-State wrestler my junior and senior year. So
okay.
I
All
made
right.
it, and so like I did that, and I loved it. But when you talk about getting punched in the face over and over, it takes a special kind of person. And I'll wait till I get my degree and I go pro in my ways, and then it's always there. And especially meeting the BYB family, they just hired an old WWE superstar, Summer Rae, and talking with her, it was so amazing. She really wants me to go the route of pro wrestling, and I was
Mm.
like, that was definitely something I want to. I want that's been my goal as a kid. I remember watching the show, seeing the likes of Rey Mysterio and
Oh
just
yeah,
really all the legends on there, especially Hispanic legends.
Eddie
And
Guerrero.
it
Yeah.
was just a big thing for me. And I was like, man, if she put it out there, I was like, I'm gonna take you up on that offer when the pro sports is over.
Hey man, this interview is gonna be a classic one day. I can feel it already, man. When you go and but I know we got to get there. Here's what I do know. I say this much. I know you, and we'll get into the football aspect of it, but you know, protect the quarterback, and your teammates. If they know if things get out of line, we got Mr. Villanueva over there that can come and set the record straight, along with his other offensive line teammates. Man, that's some special stuff, man. Some special stuff. Now, with that, let's transition. You've been at Jackson State for a couple of months now. Let's talk about how well you've been gelling with your teammates, man. I know you came in as a part of the second number one HBCU recruiting class. Coach TC Taylor and his staff has done a phenomenal job 2 years in a row, and I had a chance to be over there. The room looks a little different. I like it a lot, man. And but let's talk about with you from your standpoint. How have you been able to gel with your new teammates? How's that going for you?
I think it's been huge. I remember just in the recruiting aspect of when I'm seeing the guys get the offers, I'm like, hey man, I'm texting them. I'm like, let's get it done. I was like, Jackson State is there's some misunderstanding. Jackson State's the standard in the SWAC. There is no other school that's better, greater, and can do it on a day-to-day basis how we do it here. And
Love it.
I truly think coming in is just a little different. You know, transfers. Some people hold different viewpoints about that. And at Jackson, I'd say everybody was truly welcoming. A big thing that did throw me off was I was recruited by Coach Jo, and so I
Yeah.
remember getting the call. I remember getting the call the day I'm driving up to Mississippi. Hey man, I just took a new job, and I was like, I was like, okay. Called TC. I'm like, hey man, I'm still rolling with Jackson State. I'm Jackson State through and through. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. I said, Coach, I'm staying for Jackson State. The fans are like no other. I was like, I don't, I don't see myself going anywhere else. It's just a
Yeah.
beautiful place. But with meeting all my teammates, especially the older guys like Evan and Kurt, who were part of a foundation, who played at the SWAC championship, I was like, man, these fans, they don't know what we're doing on the day-to-day basis. All this talk about FAMU winning that's not going to be the case this year. I think we truly have have a special load of talent, and we have people back from injuries. We have people who really come to Jackson State to prove against the world that we are some dogs and that we can play and that when we truly bind together, I don't think there's no other team out there on the FCS level that can really compete with us. And that's a topic that most people don't want to hear. But hey,
Hey man, I love it, man. I love everything I'm hearing. And one thing about it is that if that's the mentality of the room, then it's gonna bode well for us. I had a chance to be out there, and the word I got one word coming from practice: intense. It was very intense, intentional. The coaches are very laser focused, and you can tell that they're on a mission to win. So what you're saying is not foreign to me, and I know the fans are gonna love what you had to say when you said what you did. Again, let's move on. You did say, you were recruited by Coach Jo. We wish Coach Jason Onyebuaga. We hated to see him go. Wish him well over South Alabama, but you got a new coach to come in. You got one of the
Coach
top
Manny, Coach, yeah,
Ramirez.
speaking of
Yeah,
that, Coach Manny Ramirez, he has
yeah,
been, I think he's been what the group's been missing. He's been such a fundamental key, especially a guy, he's from Houston. I knew
yep,
Coach Manny when I heard of him growing up because to be an Hispanic offensive lineman growing up and to make it to part of Houston where he's from, it's unheard of. And the things he did to make it to the league are truly, no, a true testament to him and he really came in. I remember getting the call about Jo leaving, but the next morning, Coach Manny Ramirez, he's giving me a call. He gave me a rundown. He's like, "Hey, I'm here to take over, and these are the things." And I believe that we hit it off since day one.
yes.
He's truly been a great coach. He understands the game, the techniques, and what it needs to be. And especially from some of the other guys who needed that technique, he truly brings it to the day-to-day practice. And it's a room that they're telling me it's an excitement. We're ready to go to work on the day-to-day basis. We get excited to work with him because he's does such a great job. And we
Mm.
also have our assistant coach, Coach Caleb, who does an amazing job with getting us. He's a hands-on man. He's every workout we're doing, he's right there next to us, motivating, pushing us. So I think the Coach Manny, I think was one of the greatest hires this offseason for us.
I would agree with that, man. When you look at the offense that Texas Southern had last year, with him being the offensive coordinator, run game coordinator for them. I mean, they had the top rusher in the league, Ladarius Owen. And then when we went down to the Legacy Bowl, our media crew and as well as Austin and the team, the two running backs for Team Robinson, which you had Ladarius Owen and you had Ja'Cory Howard, both Texas Southern running backs, which is a testament to the offense that he helped to pioneer and steer with over 4,000 yards in offense for Texas Southern. So I was ecstatic to see him. I know that the coach they decided to move on from Coach Clarence McKinney at Texas Southern, but one team's loss is another team's treasure. We're happy to have Coach Manning, and it just warms my heart to hear your aspect of it because you're in that room. You kind of spoke to that, but I do want you to expand a little bit more on your offensive line room. I really love the offensive line room, and I know that some of your other offensive line teammates, some of the younger fellas, haven't really made it to campus yet. But Let's talk about the guys that are in the room. How's that going for you? What's your thoughts on the group thus far?
I think it's truly going great. These guys know that we talked in the room. These are the guys we're going to war with this season. These are the guys who are going to be impactful players and really truly state who can play. And I think that with that mindset, we go to work every day. Last year, we had a couple of guys return. They had injuries last season that they're pushing through, and now
Mm,
with everyone healthy, I think we could be one of the top rushing teams in the FCS level, not just the SWAC. And that's a true testament of our online coach. And everyone with the group, we always have the constant goal of push each other. And that's really what helped us this offseason. We grew as a team, we grew as a bond. We knew that there was this little separation, and that if we can fix that, that's really the missing piece that's missing. And so it was just a huge aspect of Evan, Kirk, and Big Quay.
yeah.
They've been going to work, and I said, I'm here. I'm here to work with y'all. I'm like, this is. I could show you better than I could tell you. That's what I said, and I feel like that's the truth with the spring ball starting.
That's good stuff, man. So let's talk a little bit more about you on the offensive line. When you go back and watch Isaiah Villanueva on film, mostly at center, some at guard. Um, what position do you see yourself, if not both, and kind of your role and how you'll be utilized for the Tigers?
So I played all five positions. In my film, I was a high school and tackle, but getting to North Texas, being able to play the game, my coach, former first round second pick, Jason Smith, he really taught me all aspects of every position, and that
Mm,
when you really deepen your bag, positions you can play and technique, you really understand the defense. And I think that me playing every other position really allowed me to really humble and be better at center, and so that's where I think my huge contributions this year will be at the center offense, at the center position this year.
Center is a very unique role. Um, the offensive line coach played center. I remember he was the starting center. He was hiking the ball to the legendary Peyton Manning, man, for the Denver Broncos. So, talk about the uniqueness of the center position. A lot of people don't really understand. You're
So
playing.
yeah, a lot of people really don't understand. The center is the first man on the ball, and the center is the QB of the O line.
Yeah,
And the people don't understand, if you're at center and you're not doing your job, it doesn't just affect you; it affects the other four dudes. And when that happens, you're not only putting yourself in jeopardy, you're putting other people's career at jeopardy. And so he really taught me just to really strengthen my game. I felt like I have one of the best IQs in the offensive line room to be able to read a defense and really break down. And people don't understand at center, you have to know tendencies. You have to
yeah.
be the most person who's in the film room because you have to know, hey, is it back or dropping? Is it going to be too high? What does this mean? Where is my running back? Is my running back in the protection? And it all starts with communication. So I feel like that was a huge aspect of my game coming in. I felt like my communication was key, and I feel like everybody on the team sees that, and I get compliments it on the day-to-day basis. But I'm here just to do my contribution to the team.
Awesome stuff, man. Having to be being able to be a part of an FBS program for 2 seasons. Here you are starting your first spring season at Jackson State. Let's talk about how your first impressions of the first couple of practices that you guys have been. I like I said, I've had a chance to see one. You've been a part of two, and let's talk about your thoughts on the preparation thus far, the coaches, the practices. How's everything been going?
I feel like it's going really well. We're after day two of spring ball Monday. I see the team. I see the team tendencies. I feel like as the offense, we're working really well. I mean, every man is doing the best they can do to contribute and be a part of the team. It's 11 men and 11 guys. You have to come together. You have to do your job. And when you do your job, the team has great success. And after these first two practices, you can truly see that we're about 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 2 cleanups, and the plays are perfect. And I think that's a huge aspect of our game. And I think a huge thing for me was respect. I came out on the field. I, they never see me play. They've seen
Yeah.
some things, but seeing on the field is a whole different ball. And I felt like that's where I came in and I showed the guys that, hey, I'm here to play. I'm here to start and take over and really be a huge part of Jackson State for the next 3 years. I mean, 3 years eligibility. We don't know. I promise you, this year we'll win it all. I don't. Out of the schedule, I don't see us losing the game. And with the spring ball, the way we are, the way we're doing our indies, the way we're doing our mesh, the way, man, Coach TC, he's doing a huge part this year.
Yep.
He's taken over the offense, and really with Coach Manny coming in, those are two great game high IQs that the offense is truly developing into something special and something I think the fans will really love.
Man, he said a lot, man. He said a whole lot. I tell you, man, you're gonna get when these fans listen to this, they gonna now one thing I gotta tell you, Jackson State fans are we're a rabid fan base, and we love our Tigers, man. You can't tease them and say we're gonna win it all, and then you're not gonna do it. But no, I'm just messing with you. But I love that. It's a 1-0 mentality. You know what I mean? Get that first one, and then just you know kick the ball
It's
off
a
each game and go out there with the expectation of winning. I mean, if you're not expecting to win every game, then why play it, right? That's our
it's a
mentality.
day
That's how these think.
It's a day-to-day basis. As an offensive line, we talk about winning each day. When you win days, you win weeks, and when you win weeks, you win months. And if you win
Yeah.
the month, you're winning the year. And I feel like, yes, we're looking at the end, and in December, we're gonna have Jackson State fans crowded in Atlanta. They're gonna be tired of us. We're gonna be deep, and I think that's a huge part of really giving back to this amazing fan base. Um, when you want to work, 7-4 wasn't acceptable, and I think that's a huge thing that we're going to get back to the fans, especially this year. That every game is going to be a must-see game. Every game, we're gonna. It's not about being mediocre. Every game, you have to upgrade your game. So at the end of the year, you're playing in December. Not many teams can do it, and I feel like this team can.
I love it, man. I really do. I was saying, I'll tell you what I said, just on observation. And sometimes one of our podcast crew members, we always say we're going to take our blue and white glasses off, right? Because a lot of times people feel like we may oversell a thing. I said I'm not going to do that this season, but I will say what I said when I had a chance to just observe. Team got everything they need to win it all. It's going to come down to how well you prepare, how bad you want it, and that meat that's inside your chest. Got to go take it. Nobody, I know, that team over in Tallahassee won the Celebration Bowl last year, but the reality of the matter is everybody's going to circle Jackson State. Everybody wants to beat us. They know it. We know it. And we got to go take what we want. And nobody's going to give it to us. And I love what you're saying because you're in the room. And if that's the mindset of everybody in there, including the coaches, I think we fare well. I think we'd absolutely fare well. I thought we really did a good job of upgrading the room with coaching staff as well as talent in the room. So if you go put the preparation in and commit to the mission, I think you have a great chance of doing what you do. A couple more questions we'll do before we get ready to get you out of here and let you get back to your day. When you approach a game of football, is there a player in particular that you possibly try to pattern your game after, your style after? Um, let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll get ready to close it out.
So I think when I watch NFL, the man that I truly think I try to get my game after is like no other, is Jason Kelsey. When you look at him, he went to the combine 279 pounds, one of the lightest offensive linemen to ever weigh in at the combine in history. And he is a true testament of what it means to really believe in yourself and to see him do all the things in his career that he's truly did, to do it for that many years,
Yeah.
it's not been heard of. And no one talks, I think he's praised for what he does outside of the game, but no one talks about what he does inside the game. He has people who want to play center now, who want to control the offense, and his
Mm,
game is real. His game, you can see it. It's a new skill of offensive lineman at center. I mean, it takes a special breed to play that position. You're talking about the biggest guys that are lined up in front of you. You got to call the plays, and to see him do it at a day-to-day basis, how he does in the NFL for the past 13 plus years,
yeah.
it's truly been special to watch. I think as well, Kansas City's offensive lineman Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma. I remember seeing him play in college, and I feel like he's only gotten better. And everyone talks about Patrick Mahomes, but that man's been the guy who's been snapping the ball for the past 2 years and calling out the defense. So it takes a special type of dude to go out there and do that on the week to week basis. And to offensive linemen, you don't get much appreciation. I mean, I would say like we always have the quote, we're like a fridge. You get noticed when you don't work. And that's a thing.
I love that, man. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
It's truly a thing, but we love it because it's a position where it's selfless. You don't get the ball, you don't do that. You're blocking to keep your teammates up and go to score and celebrate. But it takes a special five of us to go out there and ball out.
Man, got some great answers, man. This is a lot to build off of. I got to do this though, man. I got choked up watching Jason Kelsey at his retirement because he just broke down, man. And you love the personality. I got to watching him, him and Travis, his brothers, the little podcast that they do. But you could tell he was living it up. I do have one question because I didn't know he was 279 at the weight that he weighed in at, and to be able to play 13 years. And do you think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I think easily. I think when you think about first ballot Hall of Famers, you think about dudes who have truly changed the game for their position. And for him, he's been on that team through the rough, through the hard of it. And to see him go out, man, when he won that Super Bowl, that was really special for me.
Yeah.
Because to see him, even though I'm not a Eagles fan, he beat my Patriots that year, so I was really upset. But to see a dude who's really given all his life to the game, and he's not a huge celebrity. He's not a huge dude who goes out there, flaunts the jewelry. He does his job week to week. He does it with great love, great passion, and he's just been a trendsetter. And I think that's when you think of a first ballot Hall of Famer, you think of him.
I love that answer, man. I think he is too. I think he is too. I mean, he is. That room is going to be a lot different. I know for a fact that Jalen Hurts loved having him snap the ball for him. So he's going to have to find him a
Yeah.
new, center, which I'm sure they will. He'll have another pro. But you love those guys, man, with the personality. And usually when you see the offensive linemen that become great, I think he's going to do great in media. I really do. He has a great personality. Seems like he's just a ball of fun to be around, right? But his brother gets all the shine, Travis Kelsey, but yet and still for him to be able to, be in the position that he's in, great career, man. Great, 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 great pick, man. Great pick. I'll ask you because I'm pretty sure based off that question, um, give us your measurables. A lot of guys that listen in, they want to know your exact measurables without having to Google it. So, uh, size and weight right now, height and weight.
So right now I'm about 6'3" and about maybe 1'4". I get that 1'4". And right now I stand around 299.
299, man. Why not 300?
Uh, yeah, I guess we could say
No, man, I'm messing with you.
I
Yeah,
guess we could say that. I guess we can round up, but I like to
I have to
think
stand
of.
next. I might stand next to you when I see you, man, because I'm 6'3", about close to your same size. I gotta get that weight down. I played basketball. I wasn't an offensive lineman. I was in middle school, but I played basketball, in the latter part of my career. But so yeah, man, good stuff, man. Absolutely good stuff. I'll close it out with this one. Based off what you've seen on the team, um, is there one thing that you look at and say, you know what? If I could change one thing right now, what would that one thing be?
Um, the one thing I would say is that we have to lock in on the little details.
Mm.
Coming from a program like North Texas and to see the coaching changes, especially what we're going through right now, with all the coaching changes so late in the spring ball and pushing, it takes a lot of small details to lock in and to key into your job. Because every day, I think huge aspect of what the guys have to be is I've seen this powerful quote. As a football player, every day is a business interview. They're looking of, can this guy take the job? Can this guy do this? And I think if we have that mindset, I truly think nobody can beat us. Because you think about it, you're coming in day to day. It's your job. It's your job to defend or lose. And at the end of the day, it's a huge part. And if we can get the small details, if you just lock in on the little things, lock in on the meetings, do your job, show up on time, it's a huge things. And um, people, fans don't see the behind the scenes, but those small details add up. The small details add up to big things, equal to going 1-0, keeping your body clean, keeping your body healthy, going and just really truly taking advantage of every resource you can.
Mm.
especially in spring ball. Ask the questions, study the film. I mean, hey, our coach has talked about it. It's 33 spots are open. 33 spots. He's looking for 33 guys to go out there and ball on the week-to-week basis. And if we have that mindset, there's truly nobody who can stop us because you lose that. A lot of teams have that complacent factor. Guys think that just because they contributed the year before that, that your spot's locked up, and that's not the truth.
Mm.
We're looking, and I think that's a big, huge thing. We have transfers who are coming in who are some dogs, me included. I think that speaking with all of them, we do all of the transfers. I will say we do pretty much keep in contact. I feel like we're a close group of guys who came in with the same mindset to make Jackson State back, take them back to December.
Yes. Absolutely, man. I was going to ask you one, and I guess I will go ahead and ask you because this is a lot of your questions. Just it's so much you can build off of. What would you say your, and this will be my final question, and we'll get ready to close it out. What would you say your leadership style would be? Is it more of a lead by example, more of a kind of verbal, kind of say what needs to be said, or a little bit of both?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. My freshman year, I was behind Manasseh Mose of North Texas. And for those people who don't know him, he will go into the College Hall of Fame because he had 73 consecutive starts in
Mm.
college football.
Wow.
So learning from him, he truly taught me amazing things and just really means what it means to be a leader. A lot of guys think because they might yell at the younger guys, and that doesn't make you a leader. Leading does you do the little things, you help whoever you can. I mean, seeing you got a teammate who's having a bad day, you're gonna go over there and push them to be their best because it's much more about football. At the end of the day, it's a special brotherhood. I want to lead by example. I want to be a guy who, if it's 5, 10 years down the line, I want to be a guy who you can call, you can reach out to, and just really tell me anything you need. If you need something, I'm gonna be there for you, and especially on the
Mhm.
field, man. Um, with the younger guys, I feel like they see it. I really truly take the leadership role, and I'm hoping that's something that gets seen in the later years. I know coming as a transfer, it's not possible this year, but I eventually do want to be a captain of Jackson State. And I think by leading by example is a huge part, and just really showing if I do what it takes for me to do my job, I know that it shows the other guys, and that eventually we can build off of it.
Fantastic answer, man. Only thing I would add is don't sell yourself short for this year. You very well could be a captain. You never can tell. Just continue to do the small things, like you said. Continue to lead by example. Be vocal when you need to be, and then stay consistent, man. This has been a pleasure, Isaiah. I
Yes,
appreciate you.
sir. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, sitting down with us on Tiger Talk. Tiger Nation, as you can see, did something a little different this time. You can follow Isaiah at Isaiah_Villanueva 22. Is that on IG and Twitter?
IG, yes, sir.
That's on IG. So go follow Isaiah, Mr. Villanueva, on IG at Isaiah_Villanueva 22. Came and sat down with KC 1400 on Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. Man, it was a pleasure. Hey, go get it, man. Kill it in the spring. I'll see you when I see you. As always, like we say, man, it's D I love. Go Tigers, baby.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club is presented by BetOnline.